The day my brother Tanner played Carnegie Hall, I watched the live stream alone in my apartment, eating leftover Chinese takeout. I'm Natalie, the forgotten Duncan child, and this is the story of how I finally made my family notice me. Look at this. My best friend Zoe texted, sending a link to yet another glowing review. Your brother's a genius. I didn't bother responding. Instead, I pulled out the old family videos I'd digitized last summer. There we were. Christmas morning, 2005. 8-year-old me proudly holding up my first journal while 4-year-old Tanner plunked away at his toy piano. Mom, Dad, look what Santa brought me. But the camera never turned my way. Mom was already kneeling beside Tanner, praising his natural talent as he played a recognizable version of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Did you see that? Dad's voice came from behind the camera. He's not even reading music. I fast-forwarded through birthdays, recitals, and family dinners. The pattern was always the same. Tanner at the center, me orbiting the edges like a forgotten satellite. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Mom. Are you watching? Isn't your brother amazing? I typed back. Actually, I wanted to tell you something. I finished my novel. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared, then. That's nice, honey. OMG, did you see that standing ovation? I threw my phone across the couch and grabbed my laptop, opening the manuscript I'd been working on for the past 2 years. The cursor blinked at me from chapter 1, each word carefully crafted from years of watching life from the sidelines. The doorbell rang. Zoe stood there with a bottle of wine and sympathy in her eyes. I saw your mom's response. She's still completely oblivious? Yeah. I poured us each a generous glass. You know what the worst part is? I actually got an agent interested in my book. Natalie, that's huge. Did you tell them? I tried. Dad just asked if I was still doing that blogging thing, and Mom changed the subject to Tanner's upcoming European tour. Zoe grabbed my laptop and started reading. 20 minutes later, she looked up with tears in her eyes. This is really good. Like, really good. Thanks, I mumbled, refilling our glasses. No, I mean it. This isn't just good writing, it's your story. All those years of feeling invisible, you turned it into something beautiful. And someday they're going to have to notice. I stared at the live stream still playing on my TV. Tanner was taking his final bow, flowers raining down on stage. Mom and Dad would be backstage now, bursting with pride. Maybe, I said, closing the laptop. But first, I need to make sure the whole world notices. 3 months after Carnegie Hall, I packed my desk, said goodbye to my cubicle job, and moved into a tiny studio apartment across town. The advance from my agent Samantha wasn't huge, but it was enough to give me 6 months to focus on writing. You're actually doing it, Zoe said, helping me arrange my makeshift writing space. Just a fold-out table and my laptop. I can't believe you're really doing it. Neither can my parents. I laughed without humor. Mom asked if I was having some kind of quarter-life crisis. My phone buzzed. Speaking of Mom, Tanner just signed with Universal Records. Call me. I switched my phone to silent and taped a sticky note to my wall. Write your truth. The first few weeks were harder than I expected. Every morning I'd sit at my tiny table, staring at the blank document while doubt crept in. But slowly the words started flowing. Read this, I said one evening, sliding my laptop across the coffee shop table to Zoe. Be honest. She read the scene, a young girl watching her parents miss her dance recital because her brother had a piano lesson. By the time she finished, her coffee had gone cold. This is brutal, she whispered. Is this how it really felt? That's not even the worst part. I took back the laptop. The next chapter is about my high school graduation. When they left early because Tanner had an audition. Got it in one. My phone lit up with a text from Dad. Big family dinner Sunday. Tanner's producer wants to meet everyone. Are you going? Zoe asked, reading over my shoulder. No. I started typing. Sorry, deadline with my agent. I'm done being the audience to the Tanner show. That night, I wrote until sunrise, pouring every missed birthday, every empty seat, every "not now, Natalie" into my manuscript. The words burned on the page. The next morning, Samantha called. "How's it coming?" "I'm almost done with the first draft." "Already?" She sounded impressed. "Send me what you have." 2 days later, she called back. "This isn't just good, Natalie. This is career-making. But are you sure you want to publish this? Your family won't notice." I finished. "Trust me, they never do." Another text from Mom. "Missed you at dinner. Tanner's producer is amazing. Says T could be the next Lang Lang." I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my laptop and started the final chapter. My hands shook as I typed the title, "Living in My Brother's Shadow." "Let them read it," I whispered to my empty apartment. "Let them finally see me. We have an offer," Samantha announced, sliding the contract across her desk. "Random House wants it. They're talking 6 figures." My hands trembled as I picked up the paper. 6 figures? They think it's going to be huge. The advance reviews are incredible. She leaned forward. "But Natalie, once this is published, there's no going back. Your family will know." I signed without hesitation. Good. That evening, I met Zoe at our usual coffee shop. She squealed and hugged me when I told her the news. This calls for something stronger than coffee. At the bar next door, we clinked glasses while the TV above showed Tanner being interviewed about his upcoming album. "And of course, I owe everything to my amazing family," he was saying. "They've always been there for me." "Turn it off," I told the bartender. My phone buzzed with Mom's text. "Are you watching? Your brother's on entertainment tonight." I typed back, "Actually, Mom, I have news too. I sold my book." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, then, "That's nice, honey. Did you see what Tanner was wearing? Giorgio Armani." Zoe read the exchange over my shoulder. "She'll notice when your book hits the shelves." Maybe. I ordered another drink. Or maybe they'll be too busy at Tanner's album launch to notice. The next morning, Samantha called with the marketing plan. "They want to keep your identity semi-mysterious at first. Build buzz. The personal essay angle is really resonating with early readers." "What about the cover?" "They love your title, In My Shadow. Simple, powerful, like your writing." Weeks flew by in a blur of edits and promotional meetings. Then one day, a package arrived. My advance copy. The book was beautiful, sleek and black with silver lettering. I ran my fingers over my name. My phone rang. It was Dad. "Natalie, we need you to come to dinner next Saturday. Tanner's announcing his world tour dates." "I can't. I have a meeting with my publisher." "Your what?" He paused. "Oh, right, your blog thing. Well, try to make it if you can. This is important." I hung up and opened my book to the dedication page. "For everyone who's ever lived in someone else's shadow, your light matters too." Zoe came over that night with champagne. "When does it hit stores?" 3 weeks. I showed her the marketing calendar. The same night as Tanner's big industry award gala. "Perfect timing," she grinned. "Ready to step into the spotlight?" I looked at my book, then at Tanner's face on a magazine cover on my coffee table. "More than ready. It's my turn now." The first review dropped like a bomb. The New York Times called In My Shadow a searing exploration of family dynamics and invisible children. My phone started ringing immediately. Samantha. "It's happening," she said breathlessly. "The Times review just crashed our pre-order site. We're going to need a bigger first print run." I was about to respond when another call beeped in. "Mom. Sorry, I have to take this." "Natalie, have you seen the entertainment section? Your brother's tour sold out in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. "That's great, Mom. Hey, did you happen to see the book review section today?" "Oh no, I went straight to Tanner's article." "Why?" I swallowed hard. "No reason." More reviews poured in. The Washington Post, The Guardian, each one more glowing than the last. My publisher scheduled a morning show appearance. The same day, Tanner was doing late night. Zoe brought over takeout, and we watched both segments. Tanner charmed the late night audience with stories about our childhood, all centered on his musical journey, of course. And now, the host said, play us something from your new album. I switched to my interview from that morning. The host held up my book. This anonymous memoir is taking the literary world by storm. We're here with the author, who writes under her first name only. They still don't know, do they? Zoe asked as we watched. Nope. Mom texted during Tanner's segment to ask if I was watching. Didn't mention my interview at all. My phone buzzed. Samantha again. You're number 3 on the bestseller list. Entertainment Weekly wants an exclusive when you reveal your full identity. I looked at the society pages spread across my coffee table. There was Tanner at some gala, Mom and Dad beaming beside him. The caption read, Musical prodigy Tanner with his supportive parents. Remember my high school graduation? I asked Zoe. When they left early? They didn't even stay for the ceremony. Tanner had an important rehearsal. I picked up the newspaper. The next day, Dad took him shopping for a new piano. $40,000. And now? Now I just got a check for twice that amount. I smiled. For writing about the day they missed my graduation. My phone lit up with a family group text from Mom. Don't forget, Tanner's award gala next Friday. Black tie, everyone needs to be there. I showed Zoe the message. Should I tell them I can't make it because I'll be at the National Book Awards? As a nominee? Not yet. Zoe grinned. Let them find out with everyone else. I saved the text, unanswered. The time for shadows was almost over. The National Book Award nomination is confirmed, Samantha announced, pacing my living room. They're announcing it tomorrow morning, same night as Tanner's gala. My phone buzzed. Mom again. Where are you? We're at the dress fitting for the gala. Need your measurements. Tell them, Zoe urged. You can't avoid this forever. I stared at my phone, then at the formal invitation on my coffee table. Not for Tanner's gala, but for the National Book Awards ceremony. Not yet, I said, silencing my phone. The next morning, I watched the nomination announcement livestream. And for Outstanding Literary Debut, we nominate In My Shadow by Natalie. My phone exploded with messages from my publisher, literary blogs, fellow writers. None from my family. Zoe burst through my door with champagne. You're trending on Twitter. People are going crazy trying to figure out who you are. I showed her Mom's latest text. Don't forget to pick up your gala dress from the tailor. Tanner's producer says Rolling Stone will be there. This is getting ridiculous, Zoe said. The whole literary world is talking about your book, and they're still completely oblivious. I laughed bitterly. That's kind of the point of the book, isn't it? Samantha called. Entertainment Tonight wants to do a reveal story. They'll send a camera crew to the award ceremony. Do it, I said without hesitation. That evening, Dad called. Natalie, where are you? Mom's worried you haven't confirmed for the gala. I can't make it, Dad. I have another commitment. What could be more important than your brother's big night? The words caught in my throat. You'd be surprised. I hung up and opened my laptop, where early reviews of my book filled the screen. One line stood out. A powerful testimony to the pain of being the forgotten child. My phone lit up with a text from Tanner. Missing you at rehearsal. You're coming to the gala, right? Need my big sister there. For a moment, my resolve wavered. Then I remembered his 13th birthday party. The one where my parents flew in a famous pianist to perform, the same day as my college acceptance letter arrived. I texted back. Sorry, can't make it. I have an award ceremony that night. Oh, he replied. What for? I smiled at my phone. You'll see. Zoe came over with my award ceremony dress, elegant black with silver threading, like my book cover come to life. Ready to step out of the shadow? She asked. I looked at myself in the mirror, then at my book on the bestseller display in my living room. More than ready. It's time for my own spotlight. The National Book Awards ceremony buzzed with anticipation. Camera crews lined the red carpet, and I could hear whispers as I walked past. That's her. The mysterious Natalie. Samantha squeezed my arm. Entertainment tonight is ready. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. I checked my phone one last time. 3 missed calls from Mom, a text from Dad. Where are you? Tanner's about to walk the red carpet. The interviewer's eyes lit up as I approached. Natalie, the literary world has been dying to know. Why the secrecy? Because this story needed to stand on its own, I said, my voice steady. But tonight, that changes. My phone buzzed again. Tanner. About to go on stage. Wish you were here. Inside the ceremony, I sat between Zoe and Samantha, my hands shaking as the outstanding literary debut category approached. Your parents still watching Tanner's thing? Zoe whispered. I nodded, showing her mom's latest text. Standing ovation. Your brother is killing it. And now, the presenter announced, the winner for outstanding literary debut. The room went silent. My heart pounded. For her raw and powerful exploration of family dynamics. In My Shadow by Natalie Duncan. The room erupted. Zoe screamed. Samantha hugged me. Somehow I made it to the stage. Thank you, I said into the microphone, my voice echoing through the hall. This book was written in the quiet moments, in the empty seats at recitals and graduations, in the shadows of someone else's spotlight. Camera flashes exploded. My phone started vibrating continuously in my clutch. To everyone who's ever felt invisible in their own family, I paused, knowing the cameras were rolling, knowing what was coming next. This is for you. The standing ovation was deafening. Entertainment Tonight's camera crew moved in as I left the stage. Natalie Duncan, the reporter said, sister of musical prodigy Tanner Duncan. Was this book about your experience growing up in his shadow? Yes, I said simply. Every word. My phone exploded. Text from Mom. What? Your book? The book everyone's talking about? From Dad. Are you serious? Why didn't you tell us? From Tanner. They just announced it here. The whole gala is buzzing. Natalie, is this really how you felt? Zoe appeared with champagne. Your mom's calling again. Want to answer? I looked at my award, then at my phone, then at the Entertainment Tonight cameras still rolling. No, I smiled. Let them watch the interviews like everyone else. I've done enough waiting in the wings. The reporter leaned in. What would you say to your family right now? I'd say, I hope they finally see me. The morning after the award ceremony, I woke to 47 missed calls and my face splashed across every major news outlet. Musical Prodigy's sister wins National Book Award for tell-all memoir. My doorbell rang. It was Tanner, still in his tuxedo from the gala. You came straight here? I asked, letting him in. I left right after they announced it. He held up his phone, showing the Entertainment Tonight interview playing. Is this really how it was for you? You tell me, Tanner. When's my birthday? He opened his mouth, closed it. Exactly. I crossed my arms. Where did I go to college? I don't know. But I can tell you every competition you've ever won, every piece you've ever performed, because that's all anyone ever talked about. His phone buzzed. Mom calling. He declined it. They're freaking out. Dad's reading your book right now. Mom's not handling it well. Of course she's not. Her perfect family image just got shattered on national television. Why didn't you tell us? I tried. God, Tanner, I tried for years. Remember last month when I told Mom about selling my book? She changed the subject to your Armani suit. He winced. I never noticed. That was the problem. None of you ever noticed. My phone rang. Samantha, turn on Good Morning America, now. I flipped on the TV. They were doing a segment on my book, showing childhood photos of Tanner and me. The headline read, Shadow Sister Steps into Spotlight. Your book just hit #1, Samantha said. They're calling it a cultural phenomenon. Tanner watched the segment, his face pale. That recital you wrote about when you were 12? When Mom and Dad left your dance performance for my piano lesson. I remember that day. I thought you were okay with it. I was 12, Tanner. What choice did I have? My door buzzed again. This time it was Mom and Dad, looking like they hadn't slept. How could you? Mom burst out. Do you know what this will do to Tanner's career? Maureen, Dad warned, holding up my book. I think we need to listen. Listen? Mom's voice cracked. I've been up all night reading this. This attack on our family. No, I said quietly. You've been up all night reading the truth. For the first time, you're seeing what it was like to be your other child. The one whose achievements didn't matter. The one who learned to live in the shadow. Tanner stepped between us. Mom, she's right. We need to listen. The room fell silent except for the TV, still playing clips from my acceptance speech. We should do lunch, Mom said stiffly, standing in my doorway. Just us. I looked up from signing copies of my book. Like the lunch we were supposed to have when I graduated college? She flinched. I deserve that, but I'm trying, Natalie. The book tour had been exhausting. 20 cities, countless interviews, all while my family processed their public unraveling. Dad had called every night, asking questions about moments I'd written about, finally listening. Tanner had canceled 3 concerts to read my book twice more. Okay, I said. Lunch. At the restaurant, Mom fiddled with her napkin. I saw you on The View yesterday. Did you watch the whole interview or just wait for them to mention Tanner? Natalie, please. Her eyes welled up. I know I failed you. The book, your book, it opened my eyes, but it also broke my heart. Try living it. I can't change the past. She reached for her purse and pulled out a worn journal. But I found this while cleaning last week. Your first journal, the Christmas one. I took it, hands shaking. You kept it? I kept everything. I just forgot to show you that I did. My phone buzzed. Another interview request. Mom noticed. You're doing so well, she said softly. Without any help from us. I'm proud of you. I should have said that years ago. Mom, let me finish. Yesterday, a reporter asked me what it's like having 2 talented children. For the first time, I talked about you first. About your writing. About how strong you are. The waiter came with menus. Mom waved him away. I've been thinking, she said. Your father and we're selling the piano. What? But that's Tanner's. It's a thing, Natalie. We spent $40,000 on a thing instead of seeing our daughter graduate. It's time to reset our priorities. My phone buzzed again. Tanner. Got an idea. What if we did a joint event? Your reading, my playing, equal billing, equal spotlight. Mom saw the text and smiled. He's trying too. I know. I showed her the journal. Maybe I could read from this instead. Show where it all began. I'd like that. She reached across the table. And maybe this time I'll actually listen. Outside, a bookstore window displayed my book next to Tanner's album. Siblings in the Spotlight, the sign read. Mom squeezed my hand. Look at that. No more shadows. No, I agreed, squeezing back. Just light.